Okay, so my next question is going to be on the optics of today's martial arts, and I mean both business, professional, personal, all of it. Just the way that the martial arts looks to the general population, to the public. Um, so, do you have any thoughts on what martial arts looks like to the public, and how maybe that might be deterring them from practicing? And let me explain a little bit what I mean by that. It's like you've got businesses out there that will put uh, karate, like most martial arts businesses will keep regurgitating and reusing the term karate to explain that, okay, but they're teaching martial arts, but they call it karate. And it's like, well, everything isn't karate. There's Filipino martial arts, there's Indonesian martial arts, there's Chinese martial arts. But everyone, all these businesses here in the U.S. Brazilian martial arts, African martial arts, Burmese martial arts, all these different things. But we keep using karate, and the general public will look at somebody like me and say, "Hey, so do you do karate?" And I have to say no. But then they kind of give me this weird look, like, "Well, I thought you did martial arts." Well, I do martial arts, but I don't do karate. So they're confused. The public is confused because they're calling everything karate. So do you have any comments on maybe, the optics of martial arts and the fact that we just keep using karate to explain everything? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
Well, yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people equate martial arts with karate.
Yep.
Maybe they saw the Karate Kid.
Right.
And everything is karate for them, and we don't do anything to lessen that confusion.
Okay.
By calling our school a karate school when we aren't doing karate.
Correct.
Or not differentiating what type of karate we are doing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and I also think that also ties into advertising your karate school or your taekwondo school as self-defense, providing self-defense.
Okay.
To me, that's disingenuous.
Right.
Because it's not the same. And so I think, to me, it's very important that we are precise.
Okay.
And honest and straightforward in what we are providing.
Right.
And I think that is an issue.
Okay. Yeah.
I also think that if people knew more what all is out there, that there might be people who would be more interested in certain things.
Okay.
But they don't want to kick. They don't want to punch.
Correct. Yeah. And because if I was somebody looking at martial arts today and I saw karate, actual, karate, you're wearing the white gi, you're wearing the belts, it's an Okinawan system or a Japanese system, it's karate. It's a genuine karate. But then you have today's martial arts, which you have UFC, you have the Ultimate Fighting Championships, you have combat sports. And so to the uninitiated person or to the untrained person, they're going to see karate and then they're going to see MMA, and they're going to have a choice to make. And they're going to go, well, this over here, the MMA looks way more realistic and effective, and it's going to drive them away from the traditional martial arts, the karate. And so that's why I bring up the optics question, is that do you think that if we start to make considerations on the way that martial arts looks, like, for instance, we don't have to teach karate traditionally anymore. I mean, there's going to be some people that are just diehard traditional, instructors. They don't want to lose the tradition, the history, and all that. So basically what they're doing is it's like a historical preservation. So it's not really about the student. It's not really about making the student, a great martial artist or a great at self-defense. Their main concern for traditional martial arts is to preserve the traditions. And so that, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that. They walk into a karate school that's teaching Japanese martial arts, and they think, oh, I'm going to learn martial arts and self-defense, when they're not. Because what's really happening is the instructor is trying to preserve his traditional system. and he's using these bodies to do it.
That's right.
And so, and I just feel like, there's nothing wrong with that,
No.
because I love history. I love traditional martial arts. But at the same time, we live in an age now where you can't lie anymore. You can't fool people anymore, because they can get on the internet and say, okay, well, how many times on a security camera are we going to see actual karate working and I just feel like we're in a time right now where we have the opportunity to change the optics. So, do you have anything you'd like to add to that or comment on that?
No, I agree with you. I think there's nothing wrong with trying to preserve an art.
Right.
And if you're teaching a traditional system, and you are you disclose that, and you tell people who come into your studio that that's what you do, I think that's great. I also think it's important that if you are trying to preserve an art, that you preserve that art and you stick to what that art is and what the quality standards should be for that art.
Right.
That you don't promote people that don't master
right.
the level that they should master to progress to the next belt or the black belt or the next black belt.
Right.
So I think that's totally okay.
Okay.
And I think it's beautiful that some of these arts are preserved.
Absolutely.
But yes, the closed circuit TV cameras won't show a jump spinning sidekick blindfolded, which is how I got my last title in breaking boards.
Okay.
Because nobody would be there waiting for you.
No. And so that's why I bring up the optics issue. Is I'm thinking to myself, you watch videos today, which, like I said, we live in a very advantageous time where we can actually see these things, because 30 years ago, you could look up on the internet and see what another system looked like. You had to go, if you were lucky enough that somebody in your town was teaching Wing Chun, you could go see what it looked like.
And your school might have had a rule that you were not supposed to go to another school without permission from...
That's right. So it was forbidden. It was forbidden to cross systems, It was forbidden to cross styles. So, moving forward from the optics question, do you feel that, that the gis and the belts might also be something that makes people... it's unattractive to people, to the general public. They're like, okay, well, this is what I wear. And so they see gis and belts and they're like, I don't want to wear it. I want to learn, but I don't want to wear that. Would you agree or disagree that maybe the way that it looks, it might be off-putting to people? Because I love the gi and the belt. I still wear mine, but I can see why it might be a weird looking, it's a little bizarre, So do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I never minded wearing my gi. I didn't have to think about it. We called it the door box. Yeah. And I was proud of my black belts. Yeah. I had my 4th degree black belt stolen at a demonstration. Oh, somewhere. No. But I do think that wearing the pajamas, as some people call the uniforms, is off-putting to a lot of people.
So have you had that in your experience when someone comes in for the first time and they're just like, oh, I thought I was going to have to wear the pajamas in order to train, and maybe that's why they didn't train to begin with, or in the past? I mean,
I guess it's kind of hard to say, because I don't think anybody would be honest and say, well, I don't want to train here because I have to wear that uniform,
Yeah, well, in my self-defense school, since I've, focused exclusively on self-defense, when I send out my initial welcome letter and frequently asked questions, I have a specific section on what do I wear, and say, you can wear whatever you want. For safety reasons, we have some recommendations, but you can wear whatever you want and whatever you feel comfortable in. You can wear shoes. We want them to be clean and have certain soles so they don't damage our floors, but we
Right.
also have cement floors for other parts of the training.
Okay,
So
I see.
that's important because people avoid training, whether that's self-defense training, martial arts training, or personal fitness training, because they are concerned about their body.
Right.
You know, that's an
Self-conscious,
issue.
yeah.
That's an issue for a lot of people,
Okay.
especially people who, maybe are a little overweight or they just don't feel totally comfortable with their bodies.
Right.